There was a male sparrow named Moni, who lived in a forest. He had a best friend, Bob, and they spent a lot of time together, chirping and flying around. Bob was married, but Moni was still single. Moni liked a sparrow named Seeko, who lived a little far away. He often watched her from a distance, but Seeko didn't know about this. She lived alone in her cozy nest. One day, Bob came to visit. Moni said,
"Since you got married, you hardly visit me anymore. Did you forget your old friend?"
Bob laughed.
Oh, come on. You're my best friend. I could never forget you.
Bob asked,
Hey Moni. Did you tell Seeko you like her? Have you asked her yet?
Moni shook his head.
"No, not yet."
Bob looked worried.
No? If you wait too long, someone else might. What will you do then?
Moni felt nervous.
"I don't want that to happen."
Bob chirped softly.
Then you should tell her soon. Don't wait too long.
After talking for a while, Bob flew away, leaving Moni thinking. That night, Moni sat in his nest, staring at the stars.
"I should tell her. If I delay, someone else might propose to her. I have to tell her tomorrow."
The next morning, Moni flew to Seeko's tree. He saw her picking grains from the ground. His heart beat fast, and he hesitated for a moment.
"Good morning, Seeko,"
he said softly. She looked up.
Good morning, Moni.
Moni gathered courage and said,
"Seeko, I like you, and I want to marry you. Will you marry me?"
Seeko blushed and looked down.
I need some time.
Moni smiled and nodded.
"That's okay. Take your time."
He flew back to his nest, feeling hopeful. That night, Seeko sat in her nest, thinking about Moni's proposal.
Moni is so kind. If I refuse him, I may never get a better match. I should say yes.
She smiled softly. The next morning, Moni flew to Seeko's tree, feeling nervous.
"Seeko,
He asked quietly. Seeko looked at him, blushing, and smiled.
I agree,
she said. Moni's wings trembled with joy.
really? Thank you."
He chirped happily and flew back to Bob.
"She agreed."
He exclaimed. Bob smiled.
That's great. Now we should repair your nest. And decorate it as well.
"Of course."
Moni said excitedly. The next day, Moni and Bob worked together to repair and decorate Moni's nest. They gathered twigs, leaves, and soft feathers. By evening, the nest was cozy and beautiful. Soon, Moni and Simi were happily married. One day, Bob came to visit. He laughed softly and teased.
Moni, you finally told her your feelings. I thought you'd never do it.
Simi just smiled. Moni stared at Bob. Bob chuckled.
Okay. I won't say a word,
he said, still smiling. One day, Simi laid eggs. She smiled and said,
Soon we will become parents.
Moni was overjoyed.
Simi. Now you don't need to search for food. Just take care of the eggs.
Simi nodded, smiling. After some days, the eggs hatched. 4 little babies came out. Misho was the smallest. Moni and Simi were so happy. They fed the babies carefully. Soon, the babies grew bigger. One day, Moni said,
I will train them to fly.
Simi smiled.
Yes, we should do it now.
The next morning, Moni called.
Pippi. Hop forward.
Pippi flapped and followed him.
Kiko. Flap your wings.
Kiko copied quickly.
Lala, Misho. Try with me.
Lala hopped and spread her wings. But Misho didn't move. He stayed close to Simi. Moni looked at him.
Misho, let's start.
Misho shivered.
Mom, I'm scared.
Simi hugged him softly.
Moni, don't force him. He's little.
Moni nodded and gently continued the training. Soon, days passed. But Misho still had no courage. One day, as the babies flew out of the nest, Moni scolded.
Misho. You still haven't even moved.
Simi hugged Misho.
Don't scold him.
She mumbled softly.
He's on you.
Moni stared at her.
What did you say?
Simi quickly replied.
No, nothing.
Moni stared at her for a moment, then flew out to guide the babies. That night, Misho thought,
Why am I like this? I should learn to fly. I should try.
The next morning, the chicks flew out. Moni turned to Simi.
Come on, let's go.
Simi hesitated.
But what about Misho?
Moni said firmly.
He needs to try. We can't hold him forever.
Simi looked at Misho.
Misho, I will come soon. Don't worry.
Misho nodded slowly. After they flew, Misho whispered.
I should try. It won't be hard.
He hopped, flapped his tiny wings, and wobbled. Each time he moved a little farther, chirping happily. By the end of the day, he was flapping around the nest with a big smile. From that day, he practiced every time the others were out. Soon, he gained courage. One day, he thought,
I can fly even outside.
Anne smiled. The next morning, when the others were gone, Misho closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and flapped out of the nest. He wobbled at first, then flew successfully. All day, he practiced flying. In the evening, Moni and Simi returned with the other chicks. They saw Misho flying in the sky.
Wow, Misho! You're really flying.
Pippi chirped excitedly. Simi smiled.
Now Misho has grown.
Moni nodded.
And brave too.
Simi laughed.
I hope he will finally propose to his life partner.
Moni stared at her, then laughed.
Can you stop teasing?
And from that day, Misho flew with joy, ready to explore the world. Moral: little steps can lead to big achievements.